weekend. That means it's time to take a look back at North Alabama at its best. I'm Kenesha Dees, and this is the FOX54 Weekend Review. In this next half hour, you'll see where road crews are working to alleviate a major Huntsville road headache. We'll continue our look at summer camps throughout North Alabama, including one that turns students into, quote, super schoolers, and a cleanup project ahead of a major Marshall County event. But first, Monday was Juneteenth. We have a series of reports on what that freedom means today. We start just north of us in Pulaski, Tennessee, and a new art installation that debuted just prior to the holiday.
Well, it was a monumental day in Pulaski, Tennessee, as the community gathered for a statue unveiling, honoring and recognizing the history of the United States colored troops in Giles County.
On a busy street in downtown Pulaski, Tennessee, sits a resurrection of valor, honoring a part of history that's been buried beneath the city's well-known past.
We all know the history, Pulaski and Giles County, the KKK.
We've had a dark history, but the sun shines today.
Today, the Community Advisory Committee on Inclusive Recognition and Acknowledgement and the City of Pulaski honor the 110th and 111th Regiments United States Colored Troops in Giles County, who were a critical part of the U.S. Army's success during the Civil War, defending against Confederate forces, a history that hasn't always been known by many.
You may have been forgotten on some of history's pages, but you remain on our hearts and minds for ceaseless ages, men of blue.
Some of this history will now be displayed in the form of a bronze memorial statue within Cave Spring Heritage Plaza.
The United States Colored Troops story is magnified, and this is a powerful space. It's a potent context. This location in Pulaski, at the foot of Fort Hill, where the 110th and 111th Colored Troop mustered their units and where some returned to settle after the war, allows the visitor to explore the relationship between the meaning of art and its location.
A vision educator Vivian Sims dreamed of since she first learned of USCT's history here. To her, it's a resurrection of valor.
That's why I chose the word resurrection. We're going in a different direction. A positive direction.
Recognizing all parts of history and moving forward.
We have to know where we came from in order to know where we're going. And even today, we're headed in the right step. We're moving forward. We're not going backwards. We're not going to let our vision perish.
Now, there is this significant symbol that stands as a monument to the fact that people today can and do work together for good. And then in the past, people worked together for justice.
Sometimes true freedom can come from having conversations that we're not always willing to have. But today here in Madison County, many gathered to share those conversations with city leaders on what they feel should be done within their communities.
And another thing is we just need to be more intentional about all that we do. We can't just come up with ideas and go home and dream about it.
Access to healthcare. Doctors' offices in North.
When I looked at the room and the response that we got, Madison County was ready to have this conversation.
Madison County community leaders took time today to sit and listen.
With Juneteenth, it's a wonderful celebration. We needed to hold a conversation where we could educate as well as celebrate on this Freedom Day. Yes, we're free, but with the discussion with the community on where do we go from here.
One thing we really need to do, because I'm a firm believer on implicit bias, how strong that is, and I think we need to go inward, and we need to go inward first.
Nobody wants to be talked to. We came together to bring our conversations and to come up with solutions.
Madison County is celebrating their first Juneteenth, and it took a little education to make it happen.
At the beginning, when we brought it up 2 years ago, there were a lot of concerns because there was a lack of education. So we took this topic, we talked to each other, we talked to the community, we talked to our employees, and at the end of the day, it was a unanimous decision. Slavery was a part of the American history that we can learn from. We're learning from it, and we are moving forward. And as I stand here as a county leader, and as a descendant of the enslaved, I cannot be more excited at the progress that we're pulling together and making in this country.
In honor of Juneteenth, thousands of dollars will help fund local nonprofits that address equity issues. Our Jasmine Bird here. Jasmine, how is this possible?
Yes, Kenesha, this racial equity fund by the Community Foundation was established in 2020 as a response to the death of George Floyd. There were so many donors who wanted to do something to help be a solution for this issue, and so that's where the launch of the Racial Equity Fund all began.
With this grant, we can offer them more opportunities to see careers that they don't normally see.
Huntsville City Learning Center is one of the 6 grant award recipients from the Community Foundation, and 6th through 8th grade classroom coordinator April Bodie says during the school year, the After School Learning Center brings children in from grades K through 9.
Our main goal is to supplement kids' education and to make them lifelong learners, not only in the classroom, but in the community. And we focus more on emotion. So we do emotional intelligence, we do logic, and we offer our kids an introduction to 3D printing and technological things that's going to give them an advantage in this tech field that we are finding ourselves coming into.
Village of Promise CEO Dana Gillis says they will be utilizing this grant from the Community Foundation to help fund their Family Connections program.
Family Connections is a great program that we utilize to basically provide part of our multi-generational approach to dealing with generational poverty. This is a program that's focused on adults and families, and it's an opportunity to bring both of them together in a 12-week program to kind of give them the tools that they need to build a better family foundation.
The Community Foundation of Greater Huntsville president and CEO Melissa Thompson says since they launched the Racial Equity Fund, they've had the opportunity of awarding over $340,000 in grants in various areas
like economic opportunity, education, health and wellness, and neighborhoods and communities.
And the generosity of the community also plays a major role in making this all possible.
Really over 80 different donors who've come in to support this effort to be a force for good in this area.
Well, getting all the necessities for back to school can be a difficult time, especially for children in the foster care system. So, Kids to Love and Suburban Propane have teamed up to make this school year a little more special. Our Ken McCoy knows more all about it, but Ken, what's up with the backpack?
So Kenesha, growing up, there were 3 essentials that I needed for back to school, and that was a clean uniform, some nice shoes, and also a backpack that made a statement. And thanks to this partnership, there will be a lot more kids going back to school this year with a lot of confidence.
We call it more than a backpack because oftentimes our children move home to home in a garbage bag.
The simple things can mean a lot to a child living in the foster care system.
So it's really important to us to have these oversized backpacks so they can pack their clothing, some of their toys, so they can move with dignity.
Kids to Love More Than a Book Pack initiative makes sure students are getting the back to school essentials needed to be successful. And a donation from Suburban Propane helped to fund this year's initiative.
We're out here with Suburban Propane because Suburban likes to get interactive with the community because, you know, as a company, we enjoy helping people with more than just propane. So it's very important to give back to children because, I mean, that's the future for the world. I mean, if you set a good foundation for them, then we can have higher hopes for, you know, the world, the community, the state, the government, the world in the future. Otherwise, if you just let things keep recycling and keep going in bad patterns the way that they're used to, then the world's, you know, it's not going to get better.
But if the color strings on these backpacks could talk, they would say not all cycles are bad.
So all of our backpacks, we tie a color-coded string to the top of it so that our social workers know what grade that is, because we pack the bags based on what they're going to need. A child in care moved, and when she turned around, we saw one of the backpacks with a yellow string, and it just brought us to tears because it was a full circle moment for us knowing that it is more than a backpack.
Well, Huntsville Fire and Rescue is reminding us that certain fireworks can light up the sky for 4th of July. Our Jasmine Bird tells us more about an ordinance recently amended by the City Council.
We changed the city ordinance at the last council meeting to allow for more products to be sold and used in the city of Huntsville.
City of Huntsville Fire Marshal Daniel Wilkerson says last year they changed the ordinance for the first time to allow what they consider novelty devices,
which are like the handheld sparklers and the snaps. This year we passed the ordinance to allow ground-based products only.
These specific fireworks are non-aerial and don't make a loud banging noise.
So with the ordinance passing, you'll see these being sold in like Costco, Sam's, Walmart's, even Publix has them.
Wilkerson says there has been an increasing issue with fireworks in Huntsville over the last several years.
You know, when you have the holidays, Memorial Day, 4th of July, New Year's, we get a lot of the products that make loud noise, scares pets and animals. You could have community members that suffer from PTSD.
The ultimate goal is creating an atmosphere that supports a more overall healthy environment.
You know, it's just not good for a neighbor to shoot off products that is going to keep their neighbor awake at night.
Many of the things we use on the daily, such as rubber and toothpaste, all come from a tree. And Alabama A&M University took the day to teach students the importance of forestry in our lives. Our Ken McCoy got a chance to speak with the organizer of the fair and has the story.
I decided to try it and I love it. I've been a forester for 24 years.
Who knew forestry played a big role in our environment?
There's so many things that we use all day, every day that if it weren't for forests, it would not exist, like toothpaste and deodorant and rubber and aspirin. And it's those newly acquired thoughts and the knowledge of just knowing that forests is not just about wood and paper, that it impacts our daily lives.
Love is taking her passion for forestry and sharing it with the next generation with events like the Forestry Fair.
Today we're here for our 10th annual Forestry Fair, whereby we invite youth from the area to learn about the role of forests in our daily lives and sustainable management of natural resources. If you are in the Army, what do you wear?
Green suit. The fair is a part of a 360 program that teaches the community more about forestry education.
We think if we plant the seed of the importance of natural resources and forests in our daily lives when the children are young, then they'll take an interest and perhaps want to pursue as a part of their education.
Oh, look at that. Did you see that? This block just fell over in the river.
We try to be in the community at all of the STEM days. We give out full ride scholarships to study forestry. We give out internships. So 360-degree approach from youth to high school students to incoming freshmen to developing college students to become quality assets and permanent employees in adulthood.
In Huntsville, Ken McCoy, Fox 54 News.
We may have some CEOs in the making. It's because this summer, Girls Inc. of Huntsville is hosting a summer camp program. And today, those young girls spent time at a local marketing agency learning all things communications. Our Jasmine Bird with all the action.
Right, but you still know what they are, don't you? What's that one? Starbucks. How about this one? Nike.
Well, it didn't take these young Girls Inc. ladies long to catch on to the concept of branding, marketing, and public relations here at Flourish Marketing Agency.
So they've come in today, we've walked them through a little bit about branding and how to create a logo, the importance behind marketing.
Flourish Marketing Agency founder and CEO Megan Nivens-Tannett believes it's important to start discussing the various roles and responsibilities these young girls could potentially pursue in this creative field.
And that can be everything from graphic design to public relations to strategic planning.
We had the little books to write in.
Second grader Karis Johnson says this was her most favorite part about today's session.
Everybody told me to stop drawing because I was too good.
Third grader Camille Reynolds says she most enjoyed working on teams.
And you had to say something that describes Girls Inc. And you say like strong, smart, bold, worthy, powerful.
Nivens-Tannett says it's really important that the girls explore those creative skills and critical thinking skills so they can start thinking about future careers they might be passionate about and that truly make them happy.
Because when they find that, if they can merge the two together, then they'll live these great, prosperous lives just loving what they're doing.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Summer school, something many kids have dreaded throughout history, but what if summer school could be fun? Our Sedona Meadows takes us to Marshall County, where students are not only enjoying learning during the summer, they're champion scholars.
Young minds, they're the future. And showing them an extra level of care and empowerment among these scholars goes a long way.
As a longtime educator, I know the impact of having the right mindset and working on the heart and making learning fun can have for their overall academic achievement and their trajectory in the future.
When you show kids that you care, they'll care about you. And it's just a relationship that's got to be both ways.
The Heart of the Valley YMCA's Power Scholars Academy, funded through the 21st Century Federal Grant, is going on its 7th year, working with kindergarten through 6th grade scholars within Marshall and Madison County. A partnership done in hopes of keeping these kids moving physically and mentally before they start back up in the fall.
It's a 5-week summer program designed to fill that summer gap in learning, which has been intensified because of COVID, the COVID learning loss.
With around 300 students from different schools experiencing education in a different way.
We do reading for 90 minutes and math, but it's not traditional. We do a lot of hands-on, multi-sensory, play games, just have a really fun time learning. And then we have afternoon enrichment. It's everything from taking them swimming and learning how to swim to 2 days a week to doing STEM activities and then service learning projects.
Along with multiple field trips. And this year, as part of their service learning, these kids are making boxes of crafts for children at St. Jude Hospital.
They're connecting the dots and understanding that they're doing something beyond themselves for someone else.
It's not just about learning what's in the books, it's about kids learning that they're capable of anything.
We do a lot of affirmations. We have Scholars of the Day where they are awarded for working through a struggle academically or for having courage at the pool trying to learn something if they're afraid of swimming, to being kind to other people.
And learning that summer school isn't so bad.
Athens Recreation Center held Olympic-style events for Masters Games of Alabama today. Masters Games of Alabama is a nonprofit dedicated to promoting healthy lifestyles for adults ages 50 and older. Our Jasmine Bird takes us there.
Well, I must say, it's getting very competitive right here at the Athens Recreation Center, where senior citizens are having fun in a good old-fashioned game of pickleball.
This is the District 2 competition of the Masters Games of Alabama, and more than 100 older adults who live in the Tennessee Valley are competing for spots to qualify for the State Masters Games, which will occur later this fall.
It creates a platform for older adults to compete in different contests, such as free throw shooting, cornhole tournaments. We have card games, dominoes, softball throw, and different types of competition.
NARCOG Aging Services Director Justin Graves says a day like this is not only beneficial for the seniors' physical health, but their mental health also.
As we age, one of the worst things that can happen is for you to become isolated and not be around people. This creates, social opportunities, also some physical competition. It's keeping them active. I mean, that's just great for your mental health overall.
TARCOG Community Services Coordinator Emmett Davis agrees.
We just like to see our seniors to exercise because exercise is really the key of life right now.
James Ernest Lee is participating today, and let's just say this isn't his first rodeo.
I play in a lot of Senior Olympics, and this year I'm going to go play in the National Senior Olympics, which is a big thing because it's teams from every state all over the United States.
And Lee isn't planning on quitting anytime soon.
I've seen so many people sit down and die. I'm going to live to be 100. I feel like I'm getting younger instead of older.
A project that will add an overpass and service roads on US 231, US 431 at Maston Lake Road is scheduled to begin next week. But with the current congestion in that area, what can drivers expect? Our Kim McCoy spoke with Aldot about a few things drivers should know.
With the growing city, addressing traffic concerns has become a daily reality.
So a project like this is going to
basically subtract a lot of that traffic from the intersection because they're going to be on the overpass going over the intersection.
The Alabama Department of Transportation says that construction will start next week on a $34 million multi-year project to add an overpass and service roads on US 231, US 431, and Masson Lake Road, extending the North Memorial Parkway Expressway to south of Winchester Road.
It's going to take it a little further north, almost to Winchester Road. It will involve an overpass at Maston Lake Road and extension of the service roads. So basically construction of service roads and a main line with overpass.
The project comes as a part of a 50-50 agreement with AlDOT and the city.
We have a large cost-sharing agreement that we've been working on for years now. So it was one that was identified as a priority to deal with in this first cost-sharing agreement. We also did overpasses down on South Memorial Parkway on a portion of it. This project, of course, is going to benefit the public by improving traffic flow on North Memorial Parkway.
Speaking of traffic, during construction, drivers should expect some hiccups.
A project like this, you can't do it without some short-term pain and inconvenience. And this is going to be a long project time-wise. It's probably going to last 3 years or more. So the public does need to be prepared for lane reductions, lane shifts, and just traveling slower, on the whole through this work zone.
It was an event many years in the making. The Rocket City Awards had their inaugural edition tonight at the Mars Music Hall in downtown Huntsville, and they were there to award excellence and recognize that excellence at the high school, college, and professional levels. 15 awards were handed out for the best athletes and best coaches and best teams at the 3 different classifications, but 2 of which included special distinction. The Inspirational Athlete of the Year, which went to Hazel Green alumnus and current New Orleans Pelican Kyra Lewis Jr., and the Lifetime Achievement Award, named after Billy Neighbors, and it went to the newly retired Ronnie Stapler. Let's hear from Coach Stapler.
I'm extremely grateful to all the many wonderful men and women who helped me in all the various programs where I've been. A lot of young coaches out there today think coaches are about 95% of this and players are about 5%. But I'm here to tell you, players are about 95% and coaches about 5% of this game. And the better you players are, the better coach you're going to be.
And let's take a look at some of the award winners, starting with the high school classification. And on to the college ranks. And finally, the Special Distinction Awards for Kyra Lewis Jr. and Ronnie Stapler. Congratulations to all the nominees and award winners.
Well, a big event happening this weekend on Lake Guntersville, this year's Hydro Fest, reeling in many boat racers and visitors from all over, but it also brings up an important message to keep the lake clean. Our Sedona Meadows sails us to the shoreline to tell us more.
I'm here in the city of Guntersville, where one of the biggest things that they're known for is their beautiful lake. But in order to keep it that way, we've got to keep it clean. It can be as simple as making sure to pick up your own trash, your own recycling, even someone else's, and throwing it into a bin like this one. The city of Guntersville, partnering up with the nonprofit Marshall County Pals, Keep America Beautiful, River Church, TVA, along with community residents, all volunteering with the same goal: to make Lake Guntersville clean and beautiful.
We've cleaned up everything from bottle caps to diapers to clothing, you name it, we find it.
This cleanup coming before this weekend's big Hydro Fest event.
It's an annual thing we do here in Guntersville, and we have lots of visitors that come out for the event. So we're here getting our shoreline cleaned up, ready for company this weekend.
But keeping the shoreline clean every day is the objective.
We have lots of trash and recycling receptacles along the trail, so we would just love for people to make use of those. Our wildlife here in the lake, they get tangled up in plastics and, bottle tops.
According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, trash making its way into waterways, also known as aquatic trash, can create many different problems, affecting water quality, endangering plants and animals, and polluting the outdoor spaces we depend on for tourism and recreation. In just 3 hours at Lake Gunnersville, the team sailed through by boat and by foot.
We have 2 boat launches that we've covered today in the area, and then we've went all the way down to the water treatment plant,
collecting 31 bags filled with trash. And although these cleanup events happen periodically throughout the year, you can make a difference every day.
We have residents that say, you know, I'm out here every day keeping our walking trails and shorelines clean, so we really do appreciate, you know, they take a lot of pride. And we have this beautiful lake here in our city, and we just want to keep it looking good for everyone to enjoy.
Dads right here in the Valley were able to celebrate with their loved ones by spending a day at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center. I was able to catch up with some of those families. Today, in celebration of Father's Day, the U.S. Space and Rocket Center let dads in for free.
I think a lot of dads probably love this place, but it's great.
You know, we're from here locally, so they brought us out here, you know, to enjoy the day and that type of things. You know, she likes astronaut stuff, and, you know, I'm an aerospace engineer myself.
I asked the sons and daughters of those I came across today why they love their dads so much.
We have a lot of things in common and stuff. We both like to learn about new things, and we do like movies together and stuff.
Why do you love your dad?
Because he's awesome.
My parents came from Mexico to give us a new life into education, and we were able to go to college. A lot of us have graduated with our bachelor's degrees. We've come so far, and it's from my dad's inspiration to study and to be able to be a good citizen.
We always reach for the stars because we know he's right behind us and always there to check our oil too at the end of the day.
Because he gave me a cupcake and and a muffin and ice cream.
Then I flipped the script, asking these fathers why they love being a dad.
I love being a father because, you know, I love my daughter, and she's just, you know, part of me and part of the family. Just makes the family whole, you know.
We always get to have fun, explore things, play. He's just a lot of fun.
I love being a dad because it gives me a new dimension of the reason to exist in here, and in the people, you know, that follow us, we can see part of us too.
And again from the folks at FOX54 and these 2 guys right here.
Happy Father's Day!
That's it for your weekend review. I'm Kenesha Dees. Don't forget, breaking news, weather, and sports headlines are available anytime with our mobile app, and more online-only programs just like this one. It's free with the Fox 54 Plus app and on fox54.com.